So a while ago I had a dream, and in the dream this gentleman approached me. He was wearing like a coat and a jacket and a top hat, and he just pointed at me and said, "Buy land." And that dream has stuck with me for a while, because for a while I've been thinking like it would be an awesome thing to have like a patch of farmland, you know, somewhere where you can, you know, grow some of your own food, maybe have some farm animals. And you know, I used to just think about it from an enjoyment point of view. Like it would be awesome to have something like that, something where you can go away and take the kids and, you know, get them in touch with nature and, you know, exploring and having fun and riding bikes and things like that. But more and more lately I've been noticing that I feel like there might be a greater purpose to something like that. And especially the way the world's going internationally at the moment. You know, I used to look at people that would talk about, you know, storing food and water and supplies, and, you know, the typical preppers that people call them, doomsday preppers. You know, they used to be like the conspiracy theorists and the, and yeah, just people that are a little bit, you know, out there. But I feel like it's that kind of lifestyle is becoming more of a normalized thing, and not even normalized, but almost like an appropriate response as a backup to, you know, the current systems. And like, you don't realize like how dependent we are on, you know, grocery stores for food, on what else are we dependent on? I don't know. We're dependent on everything, you know, fuel for our cars, or electricity to charge our cars. Like it's pretty crazy how dependent we are compared to history. If you look all throughout history, like everyone knew how to grow food, everyone had a method of transportation, like, you know, whether it was cars or whether they would just walk or whether they had horses. Like people were a lot more self-sufficient than what we are these days. And I just feel like it's actually a good backup plan, and it's not a bad idea to have something like that, whether it's a patch of land you own yourself, whether it's, you know, together as a community or families or neighbors or whatever. I feel like you know, and it's not just me, obviously. Like there's lots of people that are saying this stuff online, but I've been thinking about it a lot more lately, especially when you see things that are happening around the world, like, you know, fuel shortages because of this war in the Middle East, all these oil refineries that are supposedly just going up in flames without any explanation as to how they are. I even saw an interesting video the other day how, like, coincidentally, a lot of the biggest producers of the world's fertilizers are slowly shutting down and getting smaller, and, you know, pressure on farmers is constantly increasing from, like, you know, over legislation, especially from an environmental point of view, and just constantly restricting, and margins keep getting smaller and smaller for them. And it's just like there has been this growing system that is slowly strangling, like, things that we depend on for food, for fuel, for energy. It's like the boiling frog analogy. Like, if you just look at it at a point in time, oh yeah, it doesn't seem like much has changed. But when you look at it, you know, over, you know, the past decade and the decade before that, like, a lot has changed. And I feel like having an option of being self-sufficient is not a bad backup plan in today's day and age. The way the world is just slowly going, slowly the government's getting more and more control. Slowly people are being censored for what they can and can't say. Slowly, you know, like, energy producing facilities are being shut down, fertilizing producing facilities are being shut down. And yeah, it makes you wonder, like, you can go to one extreme and think this is all coordinated, planned by the deep state, by the people that are in power, and eventually they're all just going to get us to just eat bugs and crickets and not allowed to have a voice of our own. Or it could all just be a coincidence. The other end of the extreme, you could just be like, you know what, it's all just a coincidence. It's nothing to overthink. Life's just going to keep going on as it always has, and we're going to be all good. But you know, whatever it is, whatever's actually happening, for some reason I feel like it's not a bad idea to start making plans, to just have a backup plan. If there's ever a food shortage, oh well, you know, whether you've got a means of producing some of your own food, whether you've managed to store some food yourself, thinking about where would you get water if water was shut off from your tap. Where would you get water from? How would you get water? You know, where's your closest water source? Are there any other ways of getting water near you? Anyway, they're just my thoughts on what's happening around the world. Feel free to post your thoughts, comments. Am I crazy? Are you thinking similar things? What are your ideas for having a backup plan, or even just another alternative way of life? You know, I feel like maybe there can be a hybrid way of life. You know, maybe, you know, for those of us that live in cities, maybe there's a way where we can also have at the same time a hybrid way of life, whether it's like, you know, every other weekend getting away to like a patch of rural land, or you know, 1 week in the city, 1 week in the country, and or I don't know, maybe that. And if you are doing that, I'd be curious to hear how are you making it work. What are you doing? Because it definitely interests me. But yeah, anyway, God bless all of you, and I'll see you on the next one.